So I'm trying to get more active on TikTok. And I had a topic that I wanted to talk about, and it's about, or it's concerning churches. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is an experience that I had, or a lot of experiences that I have. When I go to various churches, not ones that I necessarily attend, but including the ones that I attend or I'm a member of, or I'm visiting a church, or, whatever reason I may be at a different church, singing or preaching or whatever. A lot of times when I go to these churches, the Holy Spirit will start speaking to me. Not every time, but a lot of the time. And one of the things that He'll start speaking to me about is the attack that is against that church, or the spirits that are in operation in that church. So let me give you an example. I remember I went to this church one time, and when I went to the church, I saw like a humongous demon like sitting on top of like the building, and I'm just like, what's that? Because every time I see spirits, I always ask the Lord, like, what is that, or who is that, or how did it get here, right? I ask a lot of questions. I don't just let it just stop there. Like, I press in. So I remember at this particular church that I was at, this was like a spirit that had come to like bring sickness and illness, right? And so that particular spirit was there and present. And how did I know that that particular spirit was projecting and manifesting itself, or causing what it was to become to become like basically fruit that's produced in that particular ministry or church? Is this because a lot of people would have similar sicknesses? Okay, so again, give you a little recap for that. I went in, there was a demonic spirit or demonic presence. It was like a spirit that caused sickness. And then how did I know that that particular spirit was in operation? For sure, not just because I saw it, but because I saw literally people who were sick, like in that ministry. There was another church that I remember visiting, and everybody would always end up with like fibroids, like all the women. And at this point, I was attending that ministry, and a lot of the different women would have to get surgery because they had fibroids. Thank God I never did, but I was like, Lord, why is this a consistent thing? Because anytime I see something more than twice, I'm like, it's a spirit, especially in the same family, in the same church, or in the same ministry, because things are not going to just keep reoccurring, right? Like that. What do they say? It happened one time, shame on them. It happened two times, shame on you, or something like that, or whatever the saying is. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I know there's something like, if something happens like three times or more, you're just like, this is like, this is a trend. This is not just an occurrence. This is not just ironic. And so anyway, this particular church, a lot of people were getting fibroids, and I was just like, why is this happening? Like, why are all these women doing this, or whatever? Or why not, why are all these women doing this, but why is all of this happening specifically to women, and why is it the same thing? Like, it's not different. Like, everybody doesn't just have different sicknesses. It's literally the same thing. Okay, so everybody has fibroids. Everybody has fibroids in a particular part. You know what I'm saying? Of their body, and it happens at a particular time. Those are strategic attacks of the enemy to attack particular people who have unrepentant sin, or some type of open door, or lack of prayer. It could be a number of things that is allowing this to happen. So if you have a group of friends, or if you are in a church, or a ministry, or a family, or a denomination, and you see consistent things happening like that, whether it's repeated sickness, whether it's repeated divorce, whatever it may be, I want you to begin to ask the Holy Spirit, especially if you are an intercessor. Begin asking, like, the Holy Spirit to show you what spirit or principality, or stronghold, or demonic network is in is in that place, or that's at work, so that you can know what is behind it. Another situation, I remember I went to this church, and I sensed a demonic presence. And when I say a demonic presence, I'm not talking about the demons that are in people. So there are demons that dwell in people, and then there are demons that dwell in certain atmospheres, and then there's demons that dwell literally at certain places. Like, they are literally assigned, like, to your church. They are assigned to your family. They literally have an assignment to that particular place. So I went to this other church, and I remember I saw another, demonic spirit. I'm like, all right, here we go again. And so at this particular church, there was a lot of lust. And not only lust, but like I believe the pastor like would sleep with like young women. And so when I was there, I don't know if I was there for a funeral. No, somebody was preaching. And when I was there and I saw that, I just, before I walked in, I just already started praying and start binding and, commanding all spiritual wickedness in high places and rulers of darkness of this world and dominions and thrones and mights, all this stuff, to bow to Jesus, because I was like, whatever is in operation in here, I don't want to give it any type of access, or I don't want it to feel like I don't see it, or because sometimes we don't see stuff and don't discern stuff. Thank God that He's given me discerning of spirits. Thank God that I'm a seer. I used to not like it, but as I get older, I'm just like, oh, I'm grateful for that, because I could have not seen that coming, but now it's just like I see that coming, or I see what's in operation. So super grateful for that. Um, but yeah, man, I just remember being there and just praying that nothing would attach itself to me, because again, I saw these consistencies in the ministry. So it wasn't just the pastor who was doing that. Then they were attracting people who were in all forms and sorts of sexual immorality. So there's that. And the last thing is this: I have found that when you have a ministry where it's almost like majority 50% or more are in some sort of sexual sin, and it's almost like they can't get out, like they can't come out of it, they can't, it's just like, oh my gosh, everybody keeps falling and falling into the same type of thing. That is a spirit that is usually on assignment. So please remember this: when you see something more than two times in your family, in the church, local ministry, whatever, begin asking the Holy Spirit what spirit is behind it. Okay? And I'm telling you, it'll be helpful. Let me know if you want me to share more of this in the comments on TikTok, because I'm new to doing this TikTok stuff.